Well, the counting of political numbers today is everywhere. Most importantly, the Liberal candidate for Gilmore, Andrew Constance, who has won a massive swing of over 13%, has fallen behind by 142 votes on the two-party preferred, but only 86% of votes have been counted as at midday today, so there is still hope for a very good candidate, Andrew Constance. Meanwhile, Peter Dutton has been confirmed as Liberal leader. He'll do an excellent job. I'm all for women in positions of leadership, but the two women who have been voted as deputies for the Liberal and National Party are virtually unknown. And in the case of the National Party, this Perrin Davey has been in the Parliament for 3 years. But a word on this fellow David Littleproud, who is the new leader of the National Party, supported by Michael McCormack and his trenchant criticism of Barnaby Joyce. I don't know what barometer social media is, but it climbed into McCormack over the comments McCormack made about Barnaby Joyce at the weekend. When McCormack led the Nationals in 2019, the swings against some candidates were astronomical. But anyway, back to this David Littleproud. Rarely has someone come into the Parliament with so much vaulting ambition and so little ability. I said last week when the bush was faced with appalling drought in 2019, I remember asking Littleproud as Minister for Agriculture, with 250,000 public servants in Canberra, to provide an inventory of the victims of drought and bushfires so that they could be specifically targeted, their problems identified and support made available. The list never eventuated. What is worse, there's a bio of Littleproud on his own website. It makes no mention of the fact that he spent 17 years with the National Australia Bank and then worked for Suncorp in agribusiness banking. In other words, Littleproud was a banker. And I remember when farmers during the drought had their businesses shut down because the banks revalued farms. I fought tooth and nail for these farmers and pleasingly won a few cases. I remember thumping an expensive maple wood table in the office of one of these NAB people, one of Littleproud's mates, because the tactic was this. The farmer had a property valued at, say, $5 million, but of course, with drought, year after year, the place started to look like 10,000 acres of dirt. The banks, in what was nothing more than disgraceful behaviour, sent around their pallbearers to revalue the property. Now, if you had no rain for 5 years, what do you reckon the $5 million property would be worth? So they revalued it at, say, $2 million. So the new value of the property, according to the bank, was suddenly less than what the poor bloody farmer owed the bank. So the farm was repossessed. Take the keys, tip him out. The banks then wait for the good times and sell up at a massive profit to the banks. Reprehensible stuff. I fought this battle almost single-handedly, and thankfully, some banks had to give the keys back. Littleproud was an NAB and Suncorp banker, not on the farmer's side. In the recent election, he was missing on the campaign trail. Barnaby was out there not only fighting to hold seats, but trying to win them. Littleproud stuck to himself. Joyce, the best retail politician in the game, was all over Australia backing candidates. Where was Littleproud? Where was McCormack? Or were they hoping the Nationals would lose some seats to strengthen their avaricious grab for the leadership? Well, today the Nats have bought themselves a new problem, because Barnaby Joyce, Matt Canavan and Dr David Gillespie are virtually the National Party's war chest. They raised the money that funded almost everyone else's campaigns, particularly those in the retiring seats of Nichols, Flynn and Dawson. Can Littleproud do that and raise money for the Nats? Never. In politics, people talk. Ben Franklin is one of those fake Nats. He was in the Liberal Party. I'm told he was doing everything to get Littleproud into the leadership, which he hoped would then cause a by-election in Barnaby Joyce's seat of New England, and they could then install Adam Marshall. Machiavellian stuff. Well, the recent difficulty in coalition politics, and the Liberals faced this with Turnbull. Tony Abbott was never given a chance, while Turnbull knifed him and undermined him at every turn. I remember warning Tony Abbott that this would lead to his removal, but Turnbull was a former leader, and Tony Abbott felt the party owed a loyalty to a former leader. The loyalty was never reciprocated. If the National Party wants to grow rather than wither, it won't happen under people like Littleproud or McCormack. They are plotters, not leaders. I know a stack of people in the bush. There's not one I know who'll tell me that Littleproud is there for the farmer or the bushie, but they will tell me He's there to use the party as an instrument to advance his own misplaced ambition. Today, instead of removing the political cancers, the National Party has rewarded them. To the bush, and I think I've done more for the bush than Littleproud, all I can say is this: net zero, here we come, and with it, the sad eclipse of the National Party.